Okay. Jeez, I couldn't believe I wasn't recording and I was talking about this the whole time. Okay, so I think we have a. So now that it's it's running and ran through the breaker. Now it's running into the fair value gap. This is a 1 hour fair value gap. So if we go to the 1 hour chart, 10 candles and wicks, you have the gap here, which is the fair value gap. Now down here, this is the 15-minute fair value gap, which is why it looks weird right now because we're in an hour chart. Basically but it actually found the 1 hour fair value gap down here as support, and there was also a 15-minute one within that. Oops. So as it's coming down, it finds these fair value gaps again, as I've explained them so many times, to act as magnets. One, they attract price, and then they repel it. But generally, they get about halfway through, and then they reverse. And that's looking like what's happening now. I mean, but it's wanting to push though. That's the crazy thing. Oh, push through to the top. I want to see if it falls back on this breaker now. Oh, it's still inside the gap though. Okay, but we still have the 5 minute. Or was it 15-minute? I can't remember. This should be a breaker. This breaker should act as support. I think it was in the 5 minute where I found this. Yeah, okay, because you have an up, down, up, and then it runs through the wick, right? So that last shit, actually, if it's a down candle, it should be your last down candle, but this is an up candle, so I don't think this is a breaker. Unless it's that, but then you have more down. I mean, you do have down, up, kind of down though. It's wanting to push higher though. That's what I like about it. Whatever it's doing, I like it. It's keeping the faith. It did balance, did rebalance. So there's no fair value gap. As you can see, this wick here is higher than this wick here. Which means that it doesn't have a purpose to come back to that area, basically. But we do have a little 5 minute fair value gap here. I'm not going to draw it because it's right underneath what I have as whatever this is right now. That's definitely not a breaker. All right, maybe I'll start getting ready to record then, or not record, but go live. Well, first let me. Where is myself? Where is myself? All right, I'm actually gonna take myself off of here. Prices of Solana on gate is 73.82.85. Here it's 73, 74, 74. God, what did it reach here? Was it 75? What's the high? Oh, this damn thing. 74.962. Okay, since I don't know what this thing is, I don't think it is a breaker. This is. This is a mitigation block. A bullish mitigation block. Which at the same time, within this bullish mitigation block, we have a 5-minute fair value gap. Let's go. I think I did yellow last time. Let's go with this kind of purple on the outside, and background. Let's do gray. Darker gray. There we go. Text, oh, look, it's already going up. Here, I'm just, I hate it when I do that. It's bullish because it ran through it. Price ran through it. So your last up candle, right? If you have a low, high, low situation, low, high, higher, low situation. You could have low, high, and then lower situation, lower, high situation. Those are harder to actually break through. Either way, if price does come up and break through these, which it did with vengeance, got to the top of the 1 hour fair value gap. Now I believe it's probably going to come down and then test the breaker and then go bullish again. Smart money theory in action, guys. This isn't your typical trader, your person that does your crabs and harmonics and all weird stuff like that. Smart money doesn't do that. We don't believe in that. Why? Because it doesn't make sense, for one. I mean, I guess if if you're a trader, especially, and you first start out, you're gonna listen to basically whoever tells you how to trade. You're gonna take that as truth. I did, but man, I got killed. I lost so much money. doing what iMarkets Live would tell me to do. How they train me to, and they even have their own little special online. I mean, I guess that the online people, they may be a little bit more experienced, but all the online stuff, that when they were day trading, I couldn't join them. I was at work, so I couldn't trade with them. So I'd always have to come home and just like watch the videos and learn what trading was, and all the different styles, and people had different methods and of how they traded, and different indicators that they would use and things like that. But then I find this one guy, I'm not going to say his name, but I realized later that he's copying everything from somebody else. And that somebody else was an inner circle trader. And once I found out about him, the game has changed. And my trading game has changed. Because inner circle trader teaches trading the way it should be. I don't. If you don't think that there's an algorithm in these charts, give it a couple months and we'll prove it to you. But the main thing is just learning what we call PD arrays, right? Letter P, letter D, and then array, right? It means premium discount array, and that's what I'm drawing here are, fair value gaps, order blocks, breaker blocks, things like that. That's what really controls the market. Well, not really controls it, but those are going to give you more signals, give you a better idea of where price is going to go than a trend line is, right? Trend line is what you put 2 points together. Good job. A second grader can do that. But I've seen people with like 90 indicators on their screen too, and I'm like, what are you doing? How do you even read that? But with smart money, and we call it smart money because this is how the bankers trade. The people that have large sums of money, that have deep, deep pockets, they also know the algorithm. They don't want you to know it. So that's why they teach you everything else. Yes, yes, it is getting through the fair value gap. Come on. As you can see down here, it didn't make it through this fair value gap or this fair value gap. This is telling me this is still a bullish chart. Way more bullish than I thought it was going to be. Whenever it got down to almost, yeah, here, back almost down to below 70, I was like, crap. But then I started taking a look at it after it hit, or after, yeah, I was watching it as it came down into here. And I started looking at everything else. And now that I'm seeing, okay, bounce off of this fair value gap, bounce off of this fair value gap, create a bullish breaker. And now we're trying to get through another fair value gap. That line is not a line. Whoa! That's what you call a liquidity run. That usually happens when people are trying to short it and they have short stop losses, and it'll find all the stop losses and take them out. So now what I'm afraid is going to happen is it's going to pull back a little bit. And it will. It probably will. But, and another reason why it would do that, though, yeah, is to get people to continue shorting it. When in actuality, it's going to keep going longer. Everybody right now is wanting to go short. And it will probably pull back a little bit to let people think that it's going to sell. But what I'm seeing over here, see, like I see a small fair value gap like right here, but it's already been covered. But it doesn't matter. The algorithm still remembers it. It'll still remember it. Let me turn this, and that's breaker color. This is not a breaker. This is a fair value gap. So we need to turn this to fair value gap colors, which I think are this and I think this was some kind of yellow or gold. There we go. Works for me. All right, it may pull back about halfway. Or what I'm thinking is it's probably going to pull back all the way down to the bearish order block. Sorry, not bearish, bullish order block. But it doesn't have to. That's the thing. It could, especially if it's being so bullish right now, it doesn't have to do the typical things that a chart does. Especially if it's wanting people to bite right now on selling. I mean, if you were somebody that had deep pockets and a lot of money, this is I'm trying to think of how I would play it, you know, and how I would make people lose, you know. Taking that off. Let's take this off. Well, gee, I didn't draw the halfway line, did I? Oh, well, the halfway line just that's from an indicator. The indicator is a crypto kill zones indicator. And that weird robotic sound you heard was my phone holder. All right, so that is halfway through. Yeah, what was that price say over there? 75, 155. Dips down in the fair value gap, rejects. I think it's playing a game. Definitely playing a game of lowness. And drop right to the bullish breaker, or sorry, bullish order block. Now, the thing with bullish order blocks is technically the whole thing is generally what you want to see is you want to see that. You want to see it hit the top of the block and then retrace, go up. But in all technicalness of blocks, order blocks, bears, all that stuff, this would also, basically price could come all the way down here if it wanted to before it got rejected, and it would still be considered a live, I guess you could say is the word, a live order block. Whoa. Whoa. I guess I wasn't paying attention. Okay, I was looking down here at this square. I didn't realize that it already jumped all the way back up here. Alright, I'm going to get all these other things off the chart that I don't need on the chart. Yeah, see, it's playing a slow game. Yeah, it still hasn't even hit the 1 hour fair value gap yet. Alright, while we're doing that, while we're just watching that, I'm gonna edit my thumbnail for the video, the live video I'm about to do. Probably the same thumbnail for. I think I do my own thumbnails, aren't I? Aren't I special? It's probably gonna come down and touch the same spot again. Make it get lower, yep. That's what I thought. Break down a little bit lower, get to the bottom of the fair value gap. In all honesty, no, it wouldn't. I don't think it's gonna break this fair value gap. But it's a slow it's gonna be a slow pace wanting people to buy or wanting people to sell. Eventually it will turn around. And what I do see is even within the fair value gap, I see two equal highs. This to me, whenever you see equal highs, I think liquidity. This is where people who don't believe in this stuff, who don't measure fair value gaps, things like that, and you see two highs like this, they think this, you think of this, and they'll think of this too, both of these levels, as resistance. So there's going to be a lot of market orders resting up above in that area. Sell limits, basically. So sell limits, very close to, right at, or you'll get the people that think they're going to catch a breakout and they'll place a buy stop right on top of them on one of these, right, usually the highest one, right? That way when it breaks through, they think it's going to come back and test the same line as, support and then take off. It's not how it works. Being about halfway of, okay, another thing. Measure this. Actual meat of the order block. Wow, it's actually going down into it. Okay. But now it's on the opposite side of the fair value gap, or the fair value, yeah. But that just means it's balanced. Shit. Hmm. Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll come down here and test this order block, or um, mitigation block, I guess is what you'd say. So why do they call it a mitigation block? Is because because there's sellers trapped down here, basically. And at this high point, all the way down to the bottom of that candle. It could even come in the form of a 15-minute, but the 15-minute one's way too big. So that's why I don't think it's a 15-minute one. Because that would give it a lot of room. And it just looks ugly. It doesn't even look like a regular breaker. Rather than the 5-minute does. But look, it still has to even came below the wick of the red candle, the bearish candle. So the order block is still in play. And I think it's winning. Now, the only challenge we're going to have here is going to be the same white line. Because you can see whenever this candle came down, hit this white line and bounced back up, And then this one came down and drove through it. Did the same thing as basically this whole movement right here did this. But you'd have to get down to the 1 minute to basically determine if you have a breaker or not there. Oh wow, it actually, well, let's see. I've seen them spike through blocks before, but to actually close outside a bearish order block, then I would say we would have to watch the chart to start being bearish again. But I think that's the play they're trying to make. They're trying to make it seem bearish. It didn't close outside it. And that would have been on a 15-minute candle too as well, since it is 6:45. And now I think we're going to see a run. It may not look like much of a run. It may be a slow run because I think people are probably still going to think, and maybe they'll slow run it, make people think it's going to sell. But you get to the bottom of a bearish order block. Didn't spike through it. Didn't close though. Didn't close outside the order block. Now we got bullishness. We got some bullishness in the house. Okay, yeah. See, like I said, I think they're gonna slow play it. Jeez. Calls. Talk about a slow play. All right, come back up to the hourly fair value gap again. Rejected. But it's still pushing up. Now, see, I'm just waiting for it to at least it's at least gonna get to the top of this hourly fair value gap. And why I'm so confident in that? Well, for one, you have a bearish order block there. So that would bounce it back the other way. But two, these things are magnets. But like I said, the repellents that they'll once they're created, and boom, it gets up into it. Get out of here. All right, well, I'll try again. Boom, get out of here. And then it's like, all right, I'll be back. And so it's just trying to like make its way back. Now, would it get any higher than that? That's the question. I think we'd have to see what would happen along the way. Because once it comes up here and it gets rejected, which I think it will, you have a short space between what the top that it's already created and here. And I don't think this would act as any kind of support whatsoever. Because what this did is it hit this as a bearish order block. So, I mean, a tiny bearish order block in there. The last up candle, look at that. In the 5-minute chart, the last up candle, flat as can be, runs up into that. All right, it's coming down. Let's see if it's going to test this breaker. Jumps in the breaker, hits the 5-minute fair value gap as well. Rejects, but still curious, I guess you could say is the word. Like I say, I have a feeling it's gonna get sucked back up into the bearish order block before the next candle. Can't promise anything, but that's what I feel like is gonna happen. Because now this is your support right here. Still being curious. Maybe it will close outside the bearish order block for once. Whoa. Ran right through the 5-minute fair value 5-minute fair value gap. Getting to the bottom of the breaker. Then pulled back up. Whoa. Jumped down into the hourly fair value gap halfway through probably, and then jumped back up to the breaker. I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was a warning. I mean, that was definitely seeking liquidity. What I think it was, to be honest, everybody that was short, that was their opportunity out. That was their last opportunity out. Is what I think that was. I mean, not only was it within the, I mean, it just, I mean, I don't know what else to say except for I hope you had a take profit set if you were short. Because one thing it also I see that it did was another part of the algorithm. The this would have been the bullish order block. Runs down into that. Maybe not. Maybe it just turned bearish. Maybe it really just did turn bearish out of nowhere. Not really out of nowhere. It did hit a bearish order block, but and usually bearish order blocks are known for, you know, dropping the chart a good usually 20-30 pips. And then it'll turn bearish. I mean, this is a bearish, sorry, no, it'll turn bullish. This is still a bullish chart. I would still consider this a bullish chart. with all this going on. It's just at an interesting area. Right now. Like I said, I still think it's slow playing a buy. Alright, I'm still on Solana because I'm actually still editing a photo. See? Slow playing a buy. Telling you. I just didn't think it would slow play it down here. I thought it was going to stay within the bearish order block. Or bullish order block again. Sorry. I'm going to get rid of that. Since it is out of play now. Also out of play. This could still have some significance though. what could also happen, let me get back onto this. Is that this would also exacerbate the slow roll of a buy. So you got a bearish order block here. Interesting choice to kind of top out, I should say. Like I said, I still think it's just slow rolling a buy. Because we're definitely not in. Let's see, we're in. So this indicator that I have is crypto kill zones. So this is where you would have the most volatility. There are 4 kill zones, crypto kill zones in a day. More than Forex is where this came from. Forex is only London open, just like, overnight and middle of the night for us. When London starts going to work and stuff, so it'd be like 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. and then opening in New York for us, and then closing of London for us. There's an extra one for crypto, and it's this one here, which is, let me see here. What time zone am I in? I always forget. Oh, yeah, I do New York. Even though I'm Central, I do New York time because the algorithm runs on New York time. Believe it or not. So this first one, 2 a.m. to 3:55, 4 o'clock. That's the London. At 8 a.m. to 10. 2 to 4. And then 5 to 7. No more after that. I thought, for some reason, I thought there was a later one, like right now. Well, look at this. Okay, let's get back over here and let's start paying attention. Okay, so it did hit that order block that I talked about. Or maybe that's what's happening right now. Why this stuff is starting to link together. I think this is part of another kill zone. Hold on. Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh wait, yeah, 6 to 7. Okay. So wait, why am I on New York time and it's saying it's 2 o'clock? Oh, I'm not on New York time. I'm on. Okay, now I'm on New York time. There we go. I don't know if I accidentally changed it whenever I did that. But yeah, reached all the way up to the order block. I knew it would reject. But if we're gonna stay bullish, it's gonna stay bullish. I think it is. I think they will slow rolled this buy play. Okay. All right. Touches the bottom of the 5-minute fair value gap. See if it runs through it or not. Okay, it is. All right, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm hungry. I'm going to take a break, and then I will be back live. So even though I'm not live right now, I'll probably show this video while I'm on live. If that makes any sense. So, and so we can like go back and be like, hey, this is what happened. And leading up to this point that's happening live. So, all right, anyways, I'm going to eat and I'll be back. Peace.